Ready?
Hello, and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels episode 5-5. We're your hosts. I'm Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
And every week we both get together and we listen to some great video game music and we talk about it. And we hope you like it.
I think it's funny because as you were saying that, and it's worth putting on the air, my headphone jack wasn't actually connected. So I'm like,
I was like, what's going on? Oh,
he's trailing off. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. But now I'm jacked in.
it sounds like you're back in now, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Actually, we're back in. We're back in the saddle. Sorry we're a little bit late, but we're here now. We're here to take care of you.
Well, let's be honest here. Anybody that didn't happen to catch this week's show, it'll just kind of blend in.
Or if you're like listening to shows past and trying to catch up, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, we're on time.
We're on time. All right. Do you have what have you been playing this week? I know you've been super busy, but you got to have something that like some kind of comfort game. I'm sure you're going back to.
Oh yeah, though the sad part is I've been falling asleep while playing because I get to be tired. But it is Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. Is the sort of alternate universe sequel to Shin Megami Tensei 4. So don't play it if you didn't play the first one, which you should play it because, geez, come on. And aside from that, I think I'm just kind of stockpiling stuff. Like I bought Darkest Dungeon.
Cool.
And just waiting for that open window to say, no work, only play. And man, will I play.
I understand that feeling you're in right now. Mm-hmm. It will pass, and then it'll be awesome.
I can't wait. How about yourself, sir?
Nope, not at all.
Nothing?
Street Fighter 5. That's it. Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing. I haven't played anything else now.
If for the fans that have been listening for a while, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, ages like on prior episodes before, all I was playing was Street Fighter 3.
Exactly. So it's like
waiting for the opportunity to play 5. And now I'm playing 5. So here I go.
So who is your main?
Cammy.
Who's your sub main?
Ryu.
So you're Cammy U.
Cammy U. Yeah, I had no idea that I would be so into Cammy, but it turns out I've been trying to force myself to play more rushdown, more aggressive. So Cammy, you really have to play aggressive because she has such low health, and she's just real fast.
And no projectiles.
No projectiles. A lot of characters don't have projectiles, but they seem to have given every character kind of a way around that. And she's got a lot of options. She's got a lot of great wake up options. Good Okizime game, if you know what I mean.
I sure do. We're talking origami. We're talking paper cutouts.
But
it works.
Yeah, I was thinking I would be into Karen. I haven't clicked with Karen. Urian just came out, and he can bust out there, and he just like tears his clothes off, and he fights in his loincloth just like he always does. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to shell out the money for characters because I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah, don't draw yourself into the money cash grab that Capcom is quite notorious for lately.
It's kind of pissing me off. I could use the fight money that you earn in the game, but I've already used it on Ibuki, and I didn't like Ibuki. So it's just you waste time to earn characters, but I still like the game. It's just the way it's being parceled out is really bugging me.
Well, I guess as long as you're able to play with characters you do like, and you're not limited from playing against the characters who bought the characters that you don't want to buy.
Yeah. I play a lot of characters that I haven't bought. Specifically, oh my gosh, what's the dude's name? Alex. Alex is awesome. I get pummeled by Alex. I get pummeled by Balrog. Boxer just...
He was a purchased character?
Yeah, he's like a wall for me. I know there's a good strategy against him. I haven't quite figured it out yet, so I just need more practice.
Make him see red.
Make him see red?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can piss people off. I was doing that to somebody. Actually, you were watching while I was knocking somebody out. I'm like, I know he's just going to block. He's just going to block, and I just throw him.
Choke through.
It's great when you can just call out his next move.
Which is funny because we're talking about a bunch of different games, and I guess mine kind of has this. The theme for the episode has nothing to do with what we're playing.
No, not at all. And usually that's the case, right?
That is true.
So, Pernell, why don't you introduce today's topic? Today's topic...
How lost are you? Find out with a map.
Yes.
Map themes.
Map themes. World map themes. Maps are kind of like almost like stage selects in a lot of games.
Or maybe the game in it as a whole is if you have to plat movement for your troops.
But not overworld. Not like a Final Fantasy where you move across it and still do things, right?
I would still count that as world map, but I don't think either of us chose anything from that realm of game.
No, I tried to stay away from that. But I chose some Famicom tracks that I might not know so much about, so I could be wrong. But they're great music nonetheless, and you're going to like it.
Prove him wrong, children. Prove him wrong.
This is an odd number episode, which means, my man, you're up.
All right. In that case, then, what would be the first choice? Well, I don't want to go, actually, most of my tracks aren't very hard rush this time, so that'll be different for me. Let's start with a classic favorite, the game Ogre Battle.
Nice.
March of the Black Queen for the Super Nintendo, and the track's title is Accretion Disc. Weird name.
As a strange, not excretion disc.
2 C's. Excretion. Accretion. Excretion.
Accretion.
I think either pronunciation could work. I've never had to accrete
I'm just trying to say it out loud just to try to figure it out. All right, let's get into the music.
Welcome back to the show. You are jamming out to this tune called Accretion, whatever, disc from the game Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, written and composed by...
We have Masaharu Iwata, Hitoshi Sakamoto, and Hayato Matsuda. This sounds so much more than Super Nintendo hardware. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think they definitely pushed the envelope for this track and all tracks in this game, because I was actually about to say, I feel like even though there probably are better tracks in the game than this, to me this is the iconic track that defines Ogre Battle for me. Like all the years I've started, stopped, and come back, this is the track that says time to get serious. But it's interesting too, because the game came out limited release. It didn't. I guess it sold well, but they just didn't print a lot. And then they re-released it years later for the PS1 and gave that a limited print too. So both versions, this is a rare case where both the re-release and the original are worth good money.
Oh, wow.
And rightfully deserved, because it is a fantastic strategy role-playing game, and you spend the vast majority of your time watching characters kind of traverse a map. Because, you know, normal strategy games, you kind of just step.
Yeah.
You actually tell a guy where to go, and they march in semi-real time.
Oh.
So music like this, where it's actually pumping, and you kind of watch your guys slowly trudge to their destination, and enemy guys trying to close in on them. It adds a little bit of, adds layers to this game, in the sense that most strategy role-playing games really just don't have.
Well, the composers on this soundtrack, they really have an amazing grasp for this kind of big, sweeping, symphonic, like emotional music. Like Hitoshi Sakamoto and his work is just phenomenal. And then I've never really explored the soundtrack, which is, I'm sure, just a crime for most people, but this is fantastic stuff.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. If anything, I feel like this is one of those oft not talked about, but also underground well-knownies. Because, again, it got such a limited release. Like, think of the more of the big titles, like the Chrono Triggers and the Mario RPGs. Everyone can get their hands on them, so they're accessible. This was not very accessible, unfortunately.
There were a lot of interesting, like, strategy games for the SNES. Like, what was that one with it? It was like King Arthur.
I don't even remember that one.
That was a weird one.
Because to put in perspective, this was actually the first game I tried to play next to possibly Dark Wizard that carried the strategy role-playing vibe. Okay, sorry, Military Madness, but that was any game that was on the TurboGrafx.
We played tracks from Military Madness, didn't we? Yeah,
we have.
On one of the last episodes.
Yeah, but like this was, I mean, Military Madness I played because it was on Super Nintendo. I'm sorry, on TurboGrafx, but I didn't get into it. This game, I rented it from Blockbuster, and I sat there with the tarot cards and trying to figure junk out. Got my Princess character. By the way, Princess is the best class in the game. And but I just went to town with it. It was like I was obsessed with trying, and it kicked the living stuffing out of me. But I liked trying. And then, of course, like I said, Dark Wizard came later, and then Final Fantasy Tactics, and that was all she wrote. I was playing strategy games like crazy at that point. So,
well, let's stick with the strategy games, but we're going to go to a completely different system in our next track. We're going to listen to the Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color, and this is the world map music for that game. Try to keep it on that high energy, happy vibe.
Challenge is up, then. Let's see how happy it is.
All right, so let's play a card game on a Game Boy.
Face down.
Like that will be the first time we ever do that. Yeah, you're listening to the world map music from Pokemon Trading Card Game.
Who wrote the track? Let us know, son. How do? I got nothing to do.
It's Ichiro Shimakura for the Game Boy Color. I never played this game, but I love the music associated with the classic Game Boy Pokemon. It's just, to me, the sound rubs me in that nostalgic kind of way, and I feel like the percussion that a lot of these really good Game Boy composers can do, it's so shuffly and so pleasant. Like, this is just so pleasant.
It really is. Like, honestly, this hit me nostalgia-wise, too, because I know this track, but I didn't realize it was from this game at all. But it came back almost immediately, and this game is actually how I learned how to really play the Pokemon trading card game, because even though I had cards here and there, I didn't do anything with them. So when this came out, I was working at KB Toys at the time, got my employee discount.
This is the back in the day.
Way back in the day. And I broke this thing out, and I was telling them kids, oh, like, you know about this card, man. Charizard ain't nothing. Get a Blastoise and tell them how it is. Like, I was really into this game during my time playing the trading card game on the Game Boy Color, because games like this make trading card games affordable. Because if you buy the video game, like I do, is win matches and earn packs.
Totally. Like, that's why I never got into Magic. Like, I couldn't do it. To me, like, the game looked so interesting, and I wanted to try it, but you could, the bar, like, you know, the gateway to get into it was so pricey, and then having the people to play with was usually not so pleasant. It was just, no offense against Magic the Gathering card players, because nowadays we live in a utopia of amazing board game and card game. Like, there's Kickstarters, there's just indie games, there's European games, there's all sorts of kinds of games in the style of Magic that you can go and just buy a box and play that box.
Yeah, like the whole all-in-one box constructible deck card game has become a big thing because of the guys who were big into Magic. Made this game called Ascension, and a bunch of other companies started
Ascension,
doing it too.
Actually, also from Fantasy Flight, the game Netrunner Android, which is also like a two-player, but it's asymmetrical card battling type game, but you buy it all in one box, and it's like hacker against like hacker type thing, and it's great. It's great that you can just do it that way. But that's not Pokemon. This song isn't just the world map. This sounds like the theme to friendship.
I don't know about friendship, considering all the butt you're kicking while you play this game. Ain't nobody coming back from that. But
anyway, I picked this song because it sounds like it has lyrics.
Yeah, I know a certain guy that goes, he's not even listening to the show, but this guy, for Aaron.
He should listen to the show.
He should listen to the show because he would totally throw down some sick lyrics to this. That's what he does almost for a living.
Oh, yeah. We should have him on the show. We should have him on the show. So we could sing songs and where it's not just me going, Pokemon.
These aren't that much better.
Oh, man. Well, I want to get back to the chorus because, here we go. Do. So like, there's like a verse. There's not much of a chorus, but it's just a couple verses. Like maybe you would sing this like on a walk, on a boardwalk. Oh, I love that little.
Let's watch me. I write some lyrics to this song, and then next time we record, I'm like, I got it.
You are my friend, yeah.
That's a good thing to be. They're hanging out here playing the Pokemon game. Got cards on the table, gonna smack you in the brain, gonna win that match. Pony up the winners, you sucker.
I like how before we started recording, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a quick one because we gotta, just getting into it. I love it.
Yeah, you can't. Quick recordings aren't really doable when you're enjoying it.
Yeah, not gonna work out.
That's how it goes.
Let's keep going then. So, what is your second track?
Went for another untalked about game, and for good reason, because also got low press and low print. But maybe you've heard of it. It's on the PlayStation 1, and it goes by the name Brigandine, Legend of Forsaina.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one.
The track is, I don't even think it really has a name because it never really got an official soundtrack release, but it's just the map theme for the country Leonia.
All right, let's check it out.
You're listening to the Map of Leonia theme from the game Brigandine, Legend of Forsaina, published by Atlas, written and composed by
Yumiko Mori, Atsushi Noguchi, and Yusuke Yada.
Unlike a lot of games that I make choices from, I don't have a whole lot of memories about this game, but this track and the battle theme for the same country, both of which are really nice, mellow music tracks that fit the game.
Yeah, this is really relaxed, like really mellow stuff. Like when I started playing, I was like, I feel good.
Yeah,
I feel good listening to this.
And it's funny too because the game it's war, like it's fantasy war. So like, I mean, yeah, like I remember like you can be controlling a pixie and it's fighting a rock golem, and the size is
Rock golem.
It wasn't a rock.
It was a rock golem.
But like it's such a good game, but it's also very like I would say it's very complex from the stat management crowd.
Okay, yeah.
So like I remember when this came out, this was during the age right around the time I started getting really obsessed with just buying every game I saw on the shelf.
Yes.
So of course, complication plus too many games equals I'll put you back till later, and later never came. Got to change that now. Yeah, I mean, for what I did play of it, I liked the graphics for its era. It had a nice scale for the different types of monsters, of which there were a ton. And it was just good. A game that deserved a lot more love than it received.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one, but I mean, of course, I think around this time, this is PlayStation 1?
Yeah, this came out.
Huh.
This came out before I went to college, even, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking I think during this era, I was probably more into the shooters and the puzzler type games, less into this type of like strategy, RPG type stuff.
Well, there were a ton of shooters around that time.
Oh,
like
my gosh,
Einhander.
yeah. Oh, man, Einhander was great. That was good stuff.
See, it was out in force, so...
Yeah, but I was buying up a lot of like the weird ones that were coming out, like Incredible Crisis.
And people can say what they want, by the way. Speaking of Incredible Crisis and Einhander, even people can say what they want about this current age of indie game releases and stuff on consoles.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, the golden age of gaming, hate me all you want, was the PlayStation 1 era.
No, yeah.
Possibly Saturn as well jumped in there.
Okay, my opinion on that is like there was two things going on. One is I felt like publishers or developers there's more they were being more adventurous, right? Like I felt like they were taking more chances with their games. Second, it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was a different time.
There was a time where we had disposable income.
No, not personally, but like worldwide.
Oh, I see. It was a lot more felt
World
light.
security wide. I'm trying not to say pre 9/11, but I'm going to say pre 9/11. Where like it was a different time. There was like a kind of a you wouldn't have like a mainstream release of Incredible Crisis nowadays because unless like your main guy in Incredible Crisis was like this grizzled old man running through the streets of like post-apocalyptic Neo Tokyo.
Oh, so you're talking about Blue Sky games.
Something like that.
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar with it, and I'm guessing you might not have heard of this.
No, I've never heard of that. I was just nodding, saying, "Oh yeah, sure."
I only learned about it from Mike back in like the late '90s, early 2000s. But Blue Sky Games is a concept where think of games like Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog outside of like Scrap Brain Zone or whatever.
Yeah.
All the games where it's just like it's meant to be light and colorful.
Katamari.
Yeah, Katamari. Good example of that.
Yes.
And even if the game has a dark plot or something, I like just having color and not be all industrial grays.
It's so strange. Like as I got older, I want to go back to that. I want that again. Like I want to play games that are blue sky. I like that.
I wouldn't say it's that strange at all. I mean, really think about it. When you were a kid, it was first you were about being a kid. Then early teens, you really wanted to grow up. So anything that seemed to mature,
then you got like the emo, super emo Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. At our age, we're like, yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, very dark tones, serious heroes saving the day, not adventurous, fun adventure.
And then shooters were becoming a big thing. Things like Quake, stuff like that was getting very popular. So, like, yeah. And now I'm like, not so much.
Because now we're older and we've already lived the adult life. You want to go back to the time where it was just light and playful.
Right. Now we're like retiring, and I just want to go maybe slightly go back into the edgier stuff. But now I have 2 weeks to live, the doctor said, and all I want to play is Mario Brothers. Okay, I just went too dark there, but...
Well, that's okay. The cure for death will show up soon enough.
The cure is in the minus worlds.
That is true. Go run in forever, run infinitely.
All right, I'm gonna go away from this tangent if you don't mind.
More plums the depth, or depth's the plum. Whatever,
Depth's
go
the
for it.
plum. All right, I'm going to move on to a Famicom title. A Famicom, another. I guess world maps tend to be around the strategy RPG type stuff. So this is for the Famicom, Japanese only. This is Morio Senki Madara for the Famicom and Famicom, and this is Main Map 2 Madara for the Nintendo Famicom. So enjoy. This is Madara, the main map theme 2 from the game Morio Senki Madara for the Famicom by Tabi Iwasawa, Miki Higashi, Miki, I'm leaving all this in, by the way. Miki Higashino, Hirofumi Taniguchi, and Akihata. This is a Konami track, and it sounds... Yeah, what's the word you use?
Superfluous.
Jamming.
This is very jamming.
Jamming.
It's I was
Actually,
curious about again, it's Japanese, admittedly, so that's probably a large part of why, but I've never heard of this, so from the time you mentioned it, I started looking up into it a bit more. It's a modern-day RPG, which is something I've always liked, but wish we got more of. And the combat, for anyone who wants to look for it someday, it plays like how Lunar's did, which, for us, you know who've played Lunar, it was very unique and original when we got it at the time, but clearly, Konami was dabbling with that style of combat first, so it's interesting.
It's an amazing sound. I mean, obviously, like Konami soundtracks are some of the best.
Yeah,
like,
this sounds like something from like
best.
Ultra Game, like something you would have heard in the Ultra Games title, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Ultra was Konami, right?
Yeah, that was like their name. Somebody was telling me it was because
there was they were only allowed to publish so many titles in the States. So what they ended up doing was splitting up into another name, Ultra Games, and releasing games under a different name. So it was Konami and Ultra. So you would see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo in the States was by Ultra, but it was really Konami.
So it was the Turtles, it was like roller games.
To kind of get around that, yeah. But like you listen to the music. I mean, the music is the big tell. I mean, because they have a specific, almost a specific kind of sound to it. But this is some really well composed stuff. And the Famicom had a really interesting sound. It was.
It kind of makes you think, though,
good.
doesn't it? I mean, like, think back to your childhood when you played these games. Do you really? I mean, you may have known internally that this is what a Konami game would sound like, but did you really know that Konami had a unique sound?
I think there's a certain. I'm trying to think of it. There's a certain like sound effect, like in Contra, like when you hit something that's metal, and it Yeah, but like it blocks it. You know what I mean? Like it hits like when you hit a boss and it hits like their kind of like their side of like the wall or something. It has like a
ting sound.
Bling, bling, and they reuse that in a lot of games. So you hear that sound, I'm like, that's Konami.
Ah.
But like nowadays, I can listen to it. I'm like, oh, this sounds like it's composed by someone who worked for Konami. Like right here, it almost gets like, it has like a little jazzy lick at the end where it goes da 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 da, and like the rest of it's so adventurous and sweeping. And then have that little jazz lick right at the end there is like, it's like saying, hey buddy, I like you too.
Now that's an interesting way to describe it too. I'm just like dancing over here. You're like, hey buddies.
You gotta have a conversation with your music.
But I wonder what music would say back to me. Well, more like I wonder what my next track would say back to me.
It depends on what you're listening to. I know you're listening to like you're in your car listening to shoegaze music. It's like, hey buddy, I'm sad too.
Hey, but stop looking at your shoes.
But
and
it's
tie
all
them.
right. It's all right.
Stop just looking at your shoes and tie the bastards.
Let's tie them up, man. All right, what's your last track?
All right, time to change up my entire style for the episode. I gotta get back to my usuals here. So I'm going to throw down some Advance Wars Days of Ruin. It is the theme for the character named Tasha, and it goes by the title Goddess of Revenge.
Great title. Great game.
Oh, it's a fantastic game. Oh, man, I hope you were prepared for that, because if you weren't, I'm sorry for your ears.
I honestly was not. I heard this. I was like, this is some like overworld music. You mosh too.
Yes, it is the Goddess of Revenge, the theme for the character Tasha from the game Advance Wars Days of Ruin by Intelligent Systems, written and composed by...
Well, we have, it is composed... So when this game came out, he came out... he did a bunch of Advance Wars games, actually.
Oh, they did them all. That's
Yeah.
their co-
So this came out in 2008. He was Yoshito Hirano in 2008. 2011, he changed it. He was married and changed his name to Yoshito Sekigawa.
Oh.
But he worked on Advance Wars Dual Strike. Advance Wars Dual Strike. Advance Wars 2, Black Hole Rising.
Pretty much well, thinking a lot of that's almost cheating on their part because with the normal games in the series, they basically reused themes when the returning COs came in, and they only had to create music for the new COs that appeared in the game. Stands for Commanding Officer.
So probably some of the tracks he composed for Advance Wars 2 and for Dual Strike probably came back up again in Days of Ruin.
Well, actually, quite the contrary.
Oh.
1, 2, and Dual Strike were from the same universe of game, so that's what had the returning characters. But this particular game completely flipped the script on Advance Wars, and by that I mean if you've played an Advance Wars normal game, we're talking cartoony characters. The first main character doesn't know what an airport is, and you'll have an entire battle skirmish because somebody stole another character's cake. I mean, it's corny stuff like that. It's like playtime skirmishes. But Days of Ruin kind of ramped it up, even from Nintendo standards.
And you can hear it from the music.
Yeah, all the music is heavier. It's a darker environment. People actually die in the game. It's post-apocalyptic, basically the epitome, the absolute opposite of a blue sky game.
We were just talking about.
But given the fact that it's a game about war,
Yes.
it actually made sense, and it was about time they decided to say, let's make this gritty. And it was a really good game.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it was Dual Strike was the only one. Dual Strike was DS, right?
Yeah, we probably did a single cart link up for it.
Yeah, actually, I played that on my own too for a while. I really enjoy these types of games like this, and even Final Fantasy Tactics. is
nice.
A little similar, but I have a hard time playing these long battles. And like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not progressing quickly enough because the battles take so long. I mean, that is the game, right? It's just playing through the battles.
Yeah, it's like lengthy chess.
Yeah, it wasn't until like more recent systems where you can kind of put those games on pause and walk away for a couple days and come back to it.
Oh no, but Advance Wars games, they were kind enough, at least they gave you suspend.
Yes.
So even though you couldn't say save the game indefinitely, you could at least stop the game.
Yeah, and come back to it.
Yeah, so it was handy in that regard, but I still was that guy where if I can get an S rank on a stage, it made me angry and I quit.
God, the opening of this track is so heavy. So heavy.
When you find some time, man, you want to listen to all these tracks. They're just
so
such
good.
a good soundtrack.
Oh man, I was hoping this composer had done more tracks, but mostly what I saw was Advanced Wars, so kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say double down a little bit. Maybe he's involved in some of the other Intelligent System games at least. They did like Fire Emblem.
Maybe they weren't credited on what I was looking at.
Yeah, it's possible. Hopefully, because otherwise, like you said, this guy got cheated.
All right, we're gonna stay dark. But we are going into Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. We haven't heard this since our first 10 episodes. I think we did a Shin Megami.
I welcome that transition, of course.
We can go back. Actually, we never did Persona.
We have to do a Persona.
We should do Persona, yeah. But anyway, this is Nocturne. Some of my favorite Megaten music is from Nocturne. This is the large map from the last area from Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne by Soji Meguro. This is the large map from the last area of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne for the PlayStation 2 by Shoji Meguro. This is an amazing song.
Oh, it's fantastic, and this is proof to anybody who jumped on the Persona bandwagon and Persona 3 bandwagon and never left. Shoji Meguro can do tracks that aren't poppy stuffs, whatever. And this was the first traditional Shin Megami Tensei game to come to the United States, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you bringing this to our old house.
Yeah.
Show me this, and I was like, "Well, this is insane. They make games like this."
Yes, it was glorious. I was waiting so long for one. To put it into perspective, aside from Persona, there were a couple spin-offs that were coming out back in the day. I bought a Saturn anticipating one of the earlier games called Devil Summoner. Not Soul Hackers, just Devil Summoner. And the game just got dropped at the last minute. It didn't come to the States. I was so livid. And then I got the game imported. Soul Hackers got imported from Japan and played a good half of the game in Japanese. You want to talk about fumbling? Oh, I fumbled. But when this game came out and when they announced it and said it's coming to the States, I damn near blew a coronary. I was excited. And as you know, I got obsessed and I played it.
Oh, yeah.
But, funny thing, I never heard this track of the game.
Oh, really?
Yep, because...
You didn't never make it this far?
Yes and no.
Oh.
There was a
the
side...
truth
dungeon.
comes out.
There's a truth. And it's a brutal truth.
Spill it.
The release that we got in the States had an expansion added onto it that Japan got called the Maniacs Edition. Ours was just Nocturne, though, by name, but had all the bonus goods. One such bonus goods was an alternate final dungeon called the Labyrinth of Amala. And you basically go down, the whole gimmick is you also be ultimately going down to beat the King of Hell and become the King of Hell yourself.
Naturally.
And I spent so much time in that place and being lost, that pretty much is where I ended the game. I never even bothered to go for the normal ending of the game, which is where this plays at.
Well, this is cool. This I felt like this really complemented your last track where it had like that kind of, this part right here.
Oh, it's good.
Except it was a lot faster in the track you picked for Advance Wars.
Oh, this is a great track, man.
But it's like in between like the heavy guitar and that kind of like dark jazz, I guess you would call it, like a dark jazz vibe you would get from the Shin Megami like Tensei games. I feel like past the Super Nintendo, even some of the Super Nintendo tracks from Shin Megami Tensei had like kind of a very dark vibe, but like a very dark jazzy kind of vibe.
Yeah, because they're still urban, modern, hip.
Yeah, which is really, like, I think is just really, really cool. But I love the drum beat on this one. I feel like a lot of the tracks on the Shin Megami Tensei series in the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 era had like a lot of washed out reverb, like it echoes around the drums. But this is like just like a heavy rock beat. And there's horns and there's violins. It's just so cool.
I still deep down feel like they experimented a bit with the soundtrack for this game, because there's a couple tracks where it's like not quite metal growling, but like weird talking and noises.
It is all over. There's like 60-some tracks on this soundtrack. It's amazing. But let's bring this down. It's good. That's a good spot in the song to bring it down. All the way down. Boom. Pernell, it's time. Do you know what time it is?
Spaghetti time?
It's time for the bonus round.
Bonus round.
Love that. The bonus round is the part of the show where we play covers and remixes based on today's theme. Today's theme is world maps. Pernell, your track.
Well, you probably noticed earlier on I picked an Advance Wars track that was not a specific track.
Yeah.
Well,
I did notice, yes.
You didn't notice. I didn't notice
at all.
Well, there's a reason for
notice.
that. And it's because my remix is a remix as of what I feel is the iconic Advance Wars character theme. That being the character Andy, the man with the giant wrench.
I was wondering where Andy came from.
Andy! But basically, I was looking for my usual Rocky style, and I came across this guy. And I could not reject this track.
Yes.
So I have to go with it. I had no choice. So without further ado, here's a remix to Andy's theme written by a guy that goes by the name simply Mykal Williams.
That was awesome.
Wasn't it?
That's one of my favorite tracks we played on this show. I swear.
I found that track,
so good.
and at first originally I was like, I think I like the original version better. But then I just kept going back. I was like, I want to hear this again, and again, and again. And I was like, yeah, I can't deny the awesomeness that is this amazing tune. This guy deserves some kudos.
Oh man, that was awesome. So that was Mykal Williams, Mykal Williams. You can find him on SoundCloud really easily. SoundCloud.com/Mykal Williams.
He may be the only Michael with that spelling. So
all I want to say is Michael Winslow. All right, moving on. We have a track from an artist named Kazuhiro Hayate. This is the World 8 map music from Super Mario Brothers 3, and it's called Into Deep.
ooh, dark.
With the outro.
Where you been?
All right, yeah. That was In Too Deep, Mario Brothers 3, World 8 remix by Kazuhiro Hayate. You can find him on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Kazuhiro Hayate.
That was good.
That was good. That's good. Yeah, he's got a lot of
real good.
He's got real good. He's got a lot of really awesome like glitch hop, hip hoppy rap like remixes of these older tracks. Like he's got like Double Dragon in there. Like some really really interesting stuff. So and he's got a lot of it. So check it out. And I'd say almost all of it is just free to download. So download it and have fun with it.
Well, I like it.
Yes, really really good. Really good stuff. I can't believe I haven't run into this guy until today. So. Because I have a large collection of remixes now from doing this show.
Did we do an episode yet where it was nothing but remixes?
Episode 5.
Might be time to revisit that pretty soon.
I think pretty soon.
Got to clean the pool.
Get some friends over and just do all remixes. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like the deal to me.
The all bonus round.
Yes.
It's like, oops, all bonus round.
That's got to be the cover.
That's got to be the cover.
Like just throwing like CD covers up everywhere. What the heck is this?
So for more information on artists on the bonus round part of the show, check out rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to their SoundClouds, Facebooks, and maybe even Twitter profiles. Hey, thanks for joining us today on the Rhythm and Pixels video game music podcast, World episode 5-5
Maps.
World Maps. Map music, map selection, overworld map.
I just think it's funny. We said maps as like a mutual thing where it was like, we're going to do maps. All right, map theme.
Maps.
And we did it. We both came at it with completely different thoughts on what we meant by maps.
That happens a lot on the show. That happens so much.
That's what's part of the fun. I was like, I thought maps were, looking down on a paper or something. Like, nah, man, maps are, when you run around a house looking for treasure chests and closets.
I mean, there's all sorts of maps. Like some maps don't even do anything. Like this what we're going out to is from Gimmick called No Limit or No Limits, and it shows you the map of the world of like all the world stages, but you don't actually choose it. It just shows you it and then goes to the next stage.
Kind of like how Adventure Island used to do it. Where it was like,
yes.
do.
Yeah, actually, I almost chose from Adventure Island on this episode.
Well, it's got a great map theme, though.
Yeah, so it's a good soundtrack. So thank you for joining. This has been a great time. If you'd like to contact us with any, maybe if we gave you some misinformation, or maybe you have an idea for another show, send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And for more information on the show and for a full track listing, go to our website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
And if you want to also contact us in other ways or get more information maybe about the next week's episode or just, have some discussion with some other listeners, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram at Rhythm and Pixels. All one word.
And we can definitely vouch for the fact that if you hit up on the Facebook, the conversation will ensue.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we keep track of everything else too, and I post dumb stuff on the Instagram all the time. But Facebook, there seems to be a lot more community going on, a lot more talking. So yeah, check us out there. And, again, if you have any ideas for extra shows, or if you have ideas for other remixes, if you do remixes or covers yourself, if you're in a band, or if you do everything yourself, or if you're in a band,
or if you're in a band of stuff,
whatever, or if you're
in a rubber band,
if you produce for a band, I don't know. Anyway, if you know great artists, send them our way. We'd love to showcase them on our show.
And speaking of which, though, it's no word. I can still say it. We had one guy who sent it in to us, and quite frankly, it was like I'm trying to remember, it was Retro Shred.
Retro Shred, yes.
And it was like, hey, check our stuff out and check what's up. Maybe come across something for the episode. And to be perfectly blunt, I told Rob when I got here, I was like, I'm ready. I'm saving this for a specific episode.
All right.
But the track is selected because that
was a retro shred.
retro shred.
Retro shred. If you're listening, you're coming up. Your time will come.
Oh, and it will be glorious because, man, you rock out. So,
Well, thanks for listening. We are the two of us are Rhythm and Pixels video game music podcast. I'm Rob Nichols.
and I'm Pernell.
Thank you for listening.
And hey, the world map is an ever sprawling vessel filled with tons of places to go and see and check out. And let's be honest, we spend way too much time kind of cooped up in our little comfort zones, whether it's due to monetary reasons or not monetary reasons. But whether it's expensive or on the cheap, adventure and new exploration is out there for you. Take the time to go and embark on it because you will not be disappointed. I can promise you that. Heck, I need to take my own advice on that. For that matter. But hey, go for it.